The way I was explaining it earlier is that you have, we had these. I think there were two 49 state landslides. It was Nixon and I think Reagan, and the Democrats, according to the Wall Street Journal, have called every single election they've lost, other than those two, illegitimate, going back to, I think, 1968 or something. This is a Wall Street Journal article about this.
Wow.
So why is it that we had these two landslides for Republicans? What I think happens is, over time, political activity among regular working class people starts going down. Why? Because life's all right, like we get by. First of all, we're spending most of our time working. We're not out there protesting and screaming about everything nonstop.
Yep.
You go to work, you come home, you take care of your family, you mind your own business, and life's overall pretty good. You might vote passively. But because they get passive and they become the silent majority, the crazies start taking control. Now the loudest voices are fringe lunatics like we're seeing today, forcing regular people to get up and get angry. It's almost like you're sitting at home eating dinner and you hear a weird, really annoying sound outside. And you're like, it'll eventually stop. Let's just keep eating dinner.
Yeah.
I'm tired. I just got off work. But it doesn't stop. In fact, it's just getting louder and louder. And then finally you go, enough. And you throw down your tablecloth and you get up, you go outside and you yell at the kids, shut up. And the kids shut up.
I like that tweet you showed me.
Which one?
With the guillotine.
Oh, yeah. Do I have that one?
That sums this up so perfectly. Oh, you do? Yeah, you do. Check this out. I don't really care about politics. Okay. Well, your head's about to be chopped off from the politics you don't care about.
So what's funny is the guy who made this is actually a leftist, and he makes a bunch of really dumb comics.
Okay.
He made one, this is how I found this actually. He made one where it was a guy standing behind Hitler saying, I don't agree with what you say, but I'll defend to the death your right to say it.
Centrist.
And he was like, modern centrists be like, or whatever.
Okay.
And so I saw that and I'm like, dude, you can literally buy Hitler's book on Amazon in like, a bunch of different versions of it. There's like stylized art. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
But yes, there's a reason why you can hear the words of this lunatic, so you can understand why he was a lunatic and why, it's important that we know. They say know your enemies, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But these people don't get it. They're like, heaven forbid we actually learn why evil people do things. But I looked at his Twitter account and he had this one as well as part of a collage or whatever. And he says, it's a guy about to get his head chopped off. I don't really care about politics. The reason why that's funny is because it's not the right that goes around in revolutions with guillotines. The left literally brings mock guillotines to people's homes.
Jeff Bezos' home.
Right.
Yeah.
So this actually speaks way more to moderates and conservatives than anybody else.
Yeah.
You can sit there all day and night and say you don't care, and well, here comes the chop.
Politics cares about you.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. Voters say some big city leaders, most reporters, encourage violent protests. Here's what's crazy. The latest Rasmussen Reports national telephone and online survey finds that 50% of likely U.S. voters believe political leaders in some major cities like Portland and Seattle are encouraging violent protests by limiting the police response. 31% disagree, and 19% are not sure. They say 55% of all voters believe most reporters identify with the protesters in violent protest situations.
Wow.
I want you to take that one to the bank when we talk about the silent majority.
Yep.
55% of all voters believe the reporters identify with the violent protesters.
But that says all voters.
Yeah.
That doesn't just say of conservatives.
Yeah, I know.
It's everybody. Everyone thinks this.
Of conservatives.
Or, sorry, the majority does.
Do they give us the breakdown by conservatives on this one?
Well, what was the paragraph just above this? Republicans, what does that say there?
This one has to do with political leaders making it worse. They say Republicans, 72% are more likely than Democrats at 33%. To think these political leaders are making it worse.
Okay.
And unaffiliated is at 48. I don't know what those numbers represent because.
But that's still 33% of the Democrats think that the political leaders are making it worse.
Yeah.
Leaders, plural there.
Yep.
So it's not just one.
I think the journalist
They love blaming a certain somebody.
So take into consideration the journalists portion of this. 55% of all voters believe most reporters identify with the protesters. Are you going to tell Antifa who you're voting for? When you get a phone call from someone you believe is part of the violent protests and they're saying, who did you vote for?
Yeah.
I vote for Biden. Good. Click.
Good. That's right, you will.
Look,
I know where you live.
most reporters, this is the important factor.
Mm-hmm.
If 55% of voters are lying to reporters because they believe the reporters are Antifa, then our polls are insanely
Wow,
skewed.
yeah.
I already thought that.
Insanely. You know what this means? It means that the polls are beyond inverted. So consider
Yep.
this. 45% of people answering polls, and we're just speculating here. I'm extrapolating some data here. We're taking a little leap. If 55% of voters think protesters are Antifa, and it stands to reason, you're not going to tell Antifa who you're voting for. You're not going to tell them the truth, at least, right? So that means those 55% are lying. So if that means 45 are being honest, which includes a small portion of Trump supporters, and then the rest are all saying Biden, it's probably right now the actual polls are Trump 80%, Biden 20.
Yep, that sounds about right. I believe that.
We'll see, man. I think hubris will be the downfall of either side. You think you won, you didn't. You better show up and vote. That's all that matters.
I've never been more stoked to vote for somebody in my entire life.
And I've heard similar things. The left doesn't want to believe it, man, because I've tweeted about this over and over again. So I mentioned this before. I would love to actually. I'm talking to my friend about promoting their Twitter account.
Okay.
But this is somebody who's not, a public figure at all.
Okay.
I met somebody at a Black Lives Matter rally.
Okay. Yeah, your friend. I know
6 years ago.
Okay.
Who even up to last year was posting F Trump, Black Lives Matter, and then all of a sudden I see she's posting all these crazy ass Donald Trump memes, and I'm like, what is going on? So I send her a DM. I'm like, you're voting for Trump now? And she's like, definitely. And I was like, but I met you at a Black Lives Matter rally.
Yeah.
She's like, right? Yep. It has to do with? It has to do with Epstein.
Ah.
Yep.
Yeah, because Trump's dropping the hammer on all them.
There's a lot
They're
of
scared. They are scared. You can tell.
Mike Cernovich tweeted out something really, really funny.
Okay.
And he especially deserves a lot of credit on this one because he's the one who filed the suits to get the documents unsealed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's really crazy. People don't realize this. Mike Cernovich has actually broken tons of huge news stories.
Cernovich is killing it.
The media doesn't want to acknowledge this guy.
Oh, yeah.
They smear him, they lie, or they just omit his name entirely.
Wow, really?
Yeah, but he's absolutely responsible. And then to a certain degree, I don't want to steal credit from anybody else. There's Julie K. Brown of the Miami Herald,
Okay.
who they were both involved. But I think Cernovich was the first. Could be wrong, but I know that he played a large role in this. But now that I've been praising his work on Epstein, I'm free. Oh yeah, he tweeted that right now you've got this big QAnon protest in Hollywood.
Okay.
And all of the mainstream journalists are mocking and belittling them for like crazy conspiracy stuff.
Okay.
I definitely think a lot of these people believe some crazy conspiracy stuff, though, to be honest, I don't follow it, seriously. But Cernovich said, he responded basically saying, you've got these I'll paraphrase the general idea. It's no wonder that these people believe or refuse to believe mainstream news and end up believing conspiracies when they've been demanding the press cover Bill Clinton on the island. I'm going to be very careful with language because YouTube will give us the axe.
Well, he was
Bill Clinton, for those that don't
named.
know, he was named directly by Virginia Giuffre.
Yeah.
She ID'd him saying, and there's testimony from 2016 that got released thanks to Cernovich where she straight up like Clinton was there. End of story.
Yep.
So she saw him with
Not just
young
there.
women. Right.
Things were happening while they were there.
With young women. And so what Cernovich points out is you have people who end up believing conspiracies because we know for a fact when these documents get released, and there is some good journalists revealing this stuff, no one else covers it.
Yeah, because they don't want anyone looking at that stuff. That's why.
It's political, but it's also having to do with Antifa. These people believe that these journalists are Antifa, and they are correct.
Yep.
These people are aligned ideologically with these far left militant extremists.
Yep.
So when you watch a video and you see a guy lob an explosive and the Department of Justice says, we've got him, he's being arrested. And then you turn on the media and they're like, peaceful protesters. And you're like, what? I watched the video, man.
Yep.
It drives you insane.
He throws it. It's true. Lights it, dosses it, it explodes.
Here's what ends up
Building
happening.
lights on fire.
I'm not surprised there are people who refuse to believe mainstream news and end up getting their news from fringe conspiracy groups because at least the fringe conspiracy groups are talking about Antifa being violent.
Well, I mean,
Bill Clinton.
If you look into it, it's not there is some fringe conspiracy stuff, but a lot of it actually is corroborated. Like it's legitimate, proven stuff that they're talking about that the mainstream media isn't talking about. So, I mean, Yeah, there's some conspiracy in it, but for the most part, I mean, a lot of it's been proven.
No, there's a lot of it's a big mess of insane conspiracy garbled mumbo jumbo.
Well, yes, it's become more and more because it feels like they're trying to smoke the whole Q movement with these crazy sides.
There's a lot more problems with Q going back to its entire history of failed predictions and kind of just garbled nonsense.
Okay.
But what happens is no one will trust the mainstream news if the mainstream news is trying to debunk it, because we know they're lying about things we can see with our own eyes. So what happens is people become very susceptible to conspiracy theories. If you see a story on the internet and it says Antifa lobs, bomb, or if you watch this show, for instance,
Yeah.
and we showed the clip from, and we didn't play it, but we show that DOJ posts this, and actually, can I pull it up right here? Here we go. A Portland man has been charged with arson. And here's the video published by the DOJ, and you can see a dude. Look, there's the flash. You can watch it. You go on Twitter. You can see this, a verified DOJ account.
Yeah.
If we know this happened, if you watch this show and you know this happened, and then you see from every mainstream news source, peaceful protest. You see a picture of a burning building torched, and it says peaceful protest. You watch MSNBC, and what was that guy's name who said peaceful protest in front of the burning building?
I don't remember his name.
He's standing in front of the police precinct, which is being burned to the ground.
Mostly peaceful.
And he's like, no, it's peaceful. It's peaceful. And CNN did the same thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
If you watch that and you're staring in confusion like, I don't get it. These people are literally insane. They're lying. Then when they come out with any other information, you're like, I don't buy it. I don't believe it. It's like I was saying before. They could come out right now and say, today Donald Trump waved hello to some reporters. I'd be like, no, he didn't. You're lying. It's not true. It's fake news.
I'm going to need proof. I need the
Yep.
video.
And I need the full 20-minute video of the helicopter landing, Trump walking up, waving hello, walking back, and then flying away.
No, he gives the thumbs up. That's what he does. He goes,
See, boom.
Yeah, see?
No, he flicks him off and says, you're fake news. You're fake.
As he
no,
should.
no, he doesn't. Because he's.
I'm kidding.
No, I know. I like the guy. So.
I saw videos of a lot of these, a lot of the conspiracy protesters and stuff. And what makes me really angry is that, and I'm not going to blame the individuals for believing conspiracy theories and fake news, but in the absence of real journalism, the space is exploited by people who just make things up for profit.
I mean,
That's a
you're
fact.
also going under the assumption that anyone that follows Q believes every single thing that they're talking about, and that's not true.
The core of it is just garbled mumbo jumbo. There's a huge map about it's nonsense.
I know, I've seen that map.
International or interdimensional, whatever. Just
right.
Listen, there's a general idea around it with Donald Trump going up against elements of what they call the permanent government.
Yeah.
People who retain their positions after elected officials leave. But if you're talking about people who like passively and loosely like mention something without paying attention to it, well, then I'd recommend you actually start looking into what some of these people are saying, because some of what they're saying is a lot of insane,
Yeah, there's crazy people in every group.
Yeah, but this is primarily nonsensical, garbled mumbo jumbo. They're holding up posters with pizzas and hot dogs on it because somebody made something up on 4chan and they all just believed it was true. And now I'd be willing to bet there's a huge. I mean, I know for a fact a lot of people believe things are true that are absolutely not true because somebody literally posted on a forum something totally fake.
Okay.
And the problem I have with this is it makes it impossible to actually dig into what they were tracking. A red herring was thrown out. They chased after it. Now they're marching around with poster boards talking about, weird conspiratorial things that are just not true. And that was the point. You've got powerful elites. We know they're doing creepy things. Bill Clinton was just implicated, so we get it. But when you come out with poster boards of things that make no sense, because
And one of the princes, I don't remember which one.
Prince Andrew.
Yeah, Prince Andrew.
Definitely implicated. So all you have to say is it's very clear cut. Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, ID'd by witness. What do we get instead? People marching around with gibberish made up words, pictures of spaghetti and hot dogs, and they look like they're nuts because someone posted fake news online and they were like, this is what I'm going to make a poster board about.
Yep.
Instead of being like published documents through a lawsuit today as reported by Newsweek implicate Bill Clinton.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Instead, you get
I
conspiracy
can't
stuff.
believe I read that today.
Yep. That's where we're at. So the important thing I always tell people, it's like, man, There used to be real journalists. I don't think they really exist for the most part anymore.
I'm looking
There's
at
a
one
handful.
right now, Tim.
Yeah, kind of. But, what we sort of do is like a weird fact-checking commentary show almost,
Yeah, I guess that's true. That accurately talks about what our show is. Yeah, I guess so.
A lot of crazy people saying a lot of crazy things, and I have no problem saying it's true, it's not true.
Mm-hmm.
We need facts on this one. I think we showed that chart the other day about the New York Times and the hockey stick of all the intersectionalism
Yeah.
and far leftist stuff.
Starting in like 2010, right?
And then listen, if you get there's so many factors that are conspiring to create conspiracy movements. It is the fault of the New York Times. It is the fault of the Daily
Absolutely.
Beast and Vox.
Yeah, they posted so much that it's convinced these people that believe. No, we're not talking about Q anymore. We're talking about the crazy left, the people that read all this and succumb to it, pass it around, keep seeing it and pass it around, and it gets worse and worse and worse. That is now their new reality. That's what they believe. It is 100%. That is the way people are, and everyone else is like, they're looking at them like they're the ones holding the pizza signs. Like, you guys are crazy because that's not the way it is.
So when they say, what was that initial thing the Seattle department said they wanted gender affirming
Praxis
or whatever,
something like that.
I'm like, what is this? Praxis is a dog whistle to the far left. Okay.
Trauma-informed, gender-affirming, anti-racist praxis.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
all of these words are dog whistles for the far left.
Yep.
In fact, the word dog whistle is a dog whistle to the far left because regular people don't use these phrases.
That's a good point.
You can tell if someone is trapped in this bubble of this conspiracy world. They really are white supremacist conspiracy theorists who believe there is a cabal, the patriarchy, that controls everything. It's insane. Here's what happens. The New York Times starts talking about whiteness, directly insulting people.
Yeah,
Those
that's
people
terrible.
then say, I'm done, and they turn it off. But they still want to get information from somewhere. And so they go online, they look for it, and they end up finding the inversion of it.
Enter Timcast IRL. Well, we're here for you to give you the real news and try to break
Kind
it
of.
down. Well, we try to break it down. you know?
What I mean is, in terms of where people end up. A lot of people end up going into insane conspiracy world.
Or like Facebook meme news land.
Well, that's the
Seriously.
left.
Yeah.
They start getting all their news from memes.
Yep.
And I'm like, some random person will tweet something like, the government is so dumb. Like, they should just give everyone $1 million. And then all of a sudden I see like 50,000 shares on Facebook. And they're like, it makes so much sense. Remember the one? What was the thing where it was like, what did they say? It was like, Michael Bloomberg spent $500 million on the election. If he could have, there's 300,
yeah.
there's
The
300
math.
million Americans. He could have given every American $1 million and still had money left over. And it's like,
No, that's $1.
yes,
How
that's
that
$1.
works.
Like $1.25. Like, sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Learn math. If you can't even do that, why should we trust you with anything?
But that's what they'll do
Seriously.
is they'll take a screenshot of that insane statement.
And that went crazy viral.
Yeah.
People were sharing that like, can you believe this? Look at this. Can you believe it?
That's
And it's
crazy.
like, no, I can't. I can do math.
No, that's crazy.
Yes,
yeah.
everybody would have gotten $1.30.
Woo!
Yeah, I think he needed a trillion or something.
Yeah, it's not.
If he had 500 trillion, he could have given $1 million.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
It's-
350
right.
million
Yeah.
or trillion.
Yeah.
Right.
So all of these people, they share memes for news. They get
man.
their information half baked from CNN because they overheard it in an airport, and then other people are sitting there, and they'll actually it's really easy to get pushed down, say, a rabbit hole. Now the left tries claiming that YouTube does it. It doesn't really. That's not true. Facebook might through shares, though they've been changing their algorithm. It really just happens if someone sends you a video, and you see a dude lobbing an explosive at a building. You go, whoa, that guy just threw an explosive at that building. What happened? And then you're like, but the news isn't talking about it. So I've literally gotten emails from people where they're saying things like, I turn on the news in Europe, and they're showing all of these peaceful marches and protests. And then all of a sudden you're seeing, gas masks and like camo gear guys shooting at people.
Right.
And you're like, whoa. How did we get here?
Yeah, wait. They're missing a huge chunk of time there. What?
They don't show it.
Do people even question that though? I would question it. Like, what spawned them to do that? Because there's got to be a reason, and there was, but they don't show that. It's
They
crazy.
just they try and make it seem like peaceful demonstrators were attacked viciously by Trump's secret police today.
I mean, even my friend in Portland who hit me up saying like, how can you be okay with this? Like, I live in Portland and it's fine. Like, I'm not seeing anything. Like, I go outside, everything's normal, nothing's happening. So how are you gonna tell me I live in Portland and there's nothing? That's like, I'm watching the live streams of the people standing outside the courthouse trying to burn the courthouse down. Like, what do you mean? How can I see it? How can't you see it? Go to the courthouse and call me when you get there.
it's because there's the person sitting in the guillotine saying, "I don't care about politics."
Still haven't heard back. That was like a week and a half ago.
Well, I'll tell you what. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify. And we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.